Hello, everyone. Hello, happy Monday. Okay, happy Monday. Welcome to Fordham University. Super happy to have you guys today. It's been a year for us, like everyone can experience. So it's so nice to be just in an auditorium with people. This is so rare. So very happy to have you. I'm going to be talking to you about living on campus along with my great colleague, Joseph Corcoran. He will be introducing himself in a minute. A little bit about me. I'm the Assistant Director in the Office of Residential Life. My name is Kelly Sosa, and I was actually you a couple of years back. I'm not going to say when, but I am a Fordham alum, FCLC. Architecture was my major, not doing anything with that. Whoop, whoop. But it's fine. I changed my major like 3 times, so good luck. But it's fine, right? I had great support. I had a great experience at Fordham. Obviously, I'm here back as an administrator after having some time away. You'll see me plenty as you transition onto campus, so I am excited about that. I've been here 3 years as of 2 days ago. I completed my 3rd year. That was my anniversary. What I do in the office, I assist the resident directors. They're master level professionals. Joe is being one of them. I help them with programming, crisis management, catering to student needs, and additional resources to make sure your students have the best experience on campus within the residential hall or even outside of it, because we do a lot of collaboration with other offices. So that's a little bit about me, and I'll let Joe talk about himself.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Corcoran. I am, as Kelly said, I'm one of the resident directors. I work over in McMahon Hall. This upcoming academic year, I'll be working with a couple for floors of first-year students, and the rest of my floors are upper-class students. I'm going into my 6th academic year at Fordham, so I'm really excited to meet you all and engage with you all when you come to campus. This past year, everything was virtual, and so it's really nice to finally have some face-to-face interactions, and I hope to continue to have more of this as we go into the fall semester. So welcome to Fordham, and I guess we'll get started.
We'll start. So at Fordham University LC, we have 2 residential halls. I'm gonna talk to you about McMahon, and I'll have Joe talk to you about McKeon. So he's gonna take over for the first portion of the presentation.
All right, so McKeon Hall, this is our basically our primary residence for first-year students. The entire building is first-year students, and over in McMahon, which Kelly will talk a little bit later, we'll have a couple of floors of first-year students in that building. So in McKeon Hall, we have 2 resident directors. You might have been in communication with Nicole over the summer. She's been doing a lot of great work on social media, engaging with you all. So Nicole Vaughn, she oversees floors 11 through 16. And then Christopher Little, he oversees floors 17 through 22. Again, the resident directors, we kind of serve as a resource, an additional resource to all of you as students, on top of your RAs and your resident first-year mentors, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I'll explain a little bit more about the resident director role specifically a little bit later in the presentation. So just a quick overview of McKeon. We have 12 floors in the building. We house roughly 424 students. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. It just depends on our numbers. And you all are in double and triple rooms. We have all of the beds are twin XL. There's 1 wardrobe and 1 desk per student within the room. And then there's also room for storage underneath your bed. There's 24 student staff members. These are resident assistants and then resident first-year mentors. And I'll talk a little bit more about their role again later in the presentation. There's 2 resident directors. So Chris and Nicole actually live in the building with all of the students and the student staff members. And then we have 2 Jesuits in residence. We have Father Vin Nicola, the assistant dean for the global business program. So if you're in the Gabelli School, I think he's also serves as your advisor throughout your 4 years at Fordham. But he also lives in the building with us. And then we also have Father Burke, who is a lecturer in the philosophy department at Fordham, and he also serves as a resident minister within the residence hall. So if you have questions about discernment or anything like personal matters, you can go to Father Burke as a resident minister, in addition to your RAs, your RFMs, and the RDs in the building. Let's talk a little bit about the amenities, the fun stuff. So we have 5 social lounges in the building, and there's 2 quiet study lounges. The social lounges, there's a video game lounge with like an Xbox and PlayStation. We have some controllers and games that we can rent out to you, but also if you have your own controllers or games, you can use those in that space as well. I think there's a Wii as well within the space. So if you have a Wii or you like that, you can utilize that as well. There's a movie lounge. It's like a kind of similar setup to this. You have like these types of seating and then a big screen. RAs will use it to have movie nights, watch weekly television shows. Sometimes we'll have faculty come in and do a talk. We'll watch a documentary and then have like a talk back discussion. There's also a dance lounge. So a lot of the students in the A-League program will utilize that on the 12th floor. I'm blanking on the other ones, but I think there's a slide with them on there as well. There's a vending and snack lounge on the 11th floor, along with the laundry room, which is free, washers and dryers on the 11th floor of the building. There's a community kitchen on the top floor, so it's a full kitchen. There's a stove, there's a microwave, there's dishwasher, refrigerator. The residents can utilize in addition to your mandatory meal plan. If you want to cook other food, outside of dining hours, etc. We also have a seminar room, which the RAs use for programming a lot, and sometimes we'll have faculty that'll host a class in that seminar room within the residence hall. These are just some pictures from various events that we've had in those social lounges and those spaces throughout the building. This is a typical double room in McKeon. Set up so you have, again, like you and your roommate, your 2 wardrobes in the back, and then not pictured are your desks. And then out towards the entrance and is where your bathroom will be. And if you're in a double room, you share a bathroom with another suite, 2 other people. If you're in a triple room, you'll have your own private bathroom, which again is out by the door of the building. This is a picture of a triple room. It's not quite set up like the other one, but as you can see, just 3 beds, there's 3 desks, and then 3 wardrobes. I don't know the dimensions off the top of my head, but the triple room is a little bit bigger than the double room, of course, because we have more furniture, there's more people living in there, and then you have your own private bathroom. These are just some pictures of the common spaces I talked about before. This is the community kitchen on the 22nd floor, and then RA is using the community kitchen for a different program where a lot of times they'll do like a mocktail event where they make mocktails, talk about alcohol education, talk about responsible decision making, things like that, and they'll utilize the common space for those types of things. This is the seminar room. We will use it a lot for our staff meetings, but again, faculty use the space. This is the seminar room being used for like a karaoke night, like open mic night with the residents and the staff members. This is the movie lounge that I talked about again. And then this is the dance lounge on the 12th floor. Looks like I didn't miss any lounges. Interesting. Okay. This is the community dining. You'll probably see it if you go on a campus tour. It's all you care to eat style. So you swipe in, you can eat what you like, and then that's it. You can eat with your friends. A lot of people looking forward to going back to that in the fall semester, since this past year was very socially distant. It's we're kind of transitioning back, hopefully, I think, back to what you see here, which will be great for all of you. And I'll pass it over to Kelly to talk about McMahon.
My Zoom peeps can see me. Hello, everyone. So I'll be talking to you a little bit about McMahon Hall. Actually, I live in McMahon Hall on the second floor, and so does Joe. Joe lives on the 17th. And so McMahon Hall is a little bit different. So we house, there's Joe. Hey, Joe. Wow, you look so nice. Work, yes. McMahon Hall, it includes upper class, first year, and law students. Law students are usually housed with other law students on the usually 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then upper class are more in the young middle floors. And then we have first years within like 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, depending on how big the class is. This year we have a very large class. There's 700 first, she's like, yep, I know that. 700 currently first year students. And so we're very excited to welcome you. So it's very important for us to be transparent about both residential halls because you may end up in McMahon Hall. So when you see 60 to 80, yeah, that's not going to be the case. It's much more higher. Okay. But the good thing is that you'll be housed with other first years to make sure you have that first year experience. That's very important. You will also receive the same type of resources as you would in McKeon, which is again, very important. You will have an RA, resident assistant to kind of welcome you, provide programs for you, be a resources academically, socially, personally. They do a really great job to making sure you can make this your second home or even your first home, depending on your walk of life. And so they make sure you are well connected to the community. And if you have struggles with that, that is when the RAs and RFMs ask RDs to intervene. And depending on the higher level of need, I can even step in. In addition to RAs on campus within McMahon Hall, we also have 2 resident directors, Joe being one of them. Martha Di Pumarejo is also an RD, but she oversees upper class and law students, which is why she's not here today. But depending on what may happen throughout the year, we do have staff on duty for crisis management. So it's important for you all to know that there's 4 master level professionals to cater to whatever need that may arise, no matter what time of the day. In addition, campus ministry, I'm not too sure if you've met Erin or will meet Erin, maybe. Erin is, works in campus ministry, great resource. She lives on campus with us on the 6th floor, along with her 3 beautiful kids and husband. So it's nice to have like a family on campus. It definitely stands out because everyone is usually your age. And so when you see a little like 2-year-old, you're like, oh, hello. And so it really grounds you and reminds you that you're part of a community, right? Like you live with other people. McMahon Hall is 20 stories, so it's a very large building. We have 5 elevators, 5 elevators to help you, you know, travel up and down. Very important for you to know as you think about move-in and what that looks like. You'll have specific move-in directions when you get your assignment along with your roommate and or suite mate, depending on what the situation is and where you'll be living. The difference between McKeon and McMahon is that McMahon is apartment style. What that means is that you actually share a common space. You have a full kitchen, you have a full living room, you have full bathrooms. Depending on how big the apartment is, you may even have up to 2 bathrooms because of how large the apartment may be. That does not exist in, she's like, ooh, I like that. She's like thinking, I love that. I love faces and I'm really good with faces and understanding what people are saying. Depending on the need, I guess you will find out the first week of August what this type of setup looks like. McMahon, we definitely try to do more programming because it's like a siloed community. It's definitely an apartment style versus McKeon, you just have your room and you have a shared bathroom, but you don't have any other common space. So you're more likely to engage in public spaces in McKeon because of the architectural build of the building. Dun, 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 dun. There's no mandatory meal plan for McMahon. Because you have a full kitchen, that is not a need. If you would like one, you can keep it, great. If not, then we work with you to make sure that's not a charge on your billing account within the first 2 weeks of school starting. Okay. McMahon Hall has our fitness center. It's located on the second floor, and it's open to anyone who has a Fordham ID. So that could be your professor, could be your roommate, could be someone in another building. So just be cognizant that it's open to a lot of folks. This past year, due to COVID, it was closed, understandably so. But as we're transitioning fully in person, we're working with our new policy and how to reopen that space. Just like in McKeon, we also have lounges for programmatic efforts or even for classes for you all. If you have group projects, like it's important for you to have a space outside of your apartment, even though you have common spaces. It's very hard to get people to come out of these spaces because you guys love your home, which is great. But it's very important to make sure you guys are getting out and building community within your floor or within the hall. So we have a couple of lounges throughout the McMahon Hall. We have 3 laundry rooms, 2, 10, and 16, right? Yes. I'm apologizing because this is an outdated picture. We have newer machines, 1, and then the space mural is no longer a space mural. It's just a blank wall, right? So here we are. Okay. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what you need to bring and what to leave at home. Since I'm already at the podium, I'll just do it, okay? Do you want me to do it? Perfect. What to bring. So you will be living with people. It's very important for you to not overbring things, right? Like if, right? You don't need 3 TVs, right? If you have a roommate, like there's no need for that. Just work it out with your roommate the minute you get your information the first week of August. Unfortunately, we'd love to get that information to you sooner, but we're still placing students, upper class law, and usually our first years are our last batch because we're still waiting on the incoming numbers. And so television, yes, great. Iron, yes, great. Waste baskets, hangers, closets, anything. I always encourage my students to bring what they need, not what they want. It never fails. We always have someone with a U-Haul. And that person with the U-Haul always gets stares. And we're like, oh, damn. We're like, and more than likely, they always have things that they can't bring, right? And so don't be that person with the U-Haul, please. We definitely want you guys to make this space your home, but just remember, you're gonna be sharing that space with other individuals. So if you're not used to that, it's important to start having those conversations once you get those names of your roommates and suite mates to make sure you're not overbringing items. Lamp desk, laundry bags, linens, great. Kitchen utensils, cookware specifically for McMahon Hall, you don't want to overbring, right? If you're in an apartment of like 6 people, you want to make sure who's bringing what. If you're very, don't like to share, I respect that. Bring your own stuff, but just be cognizant you're going to have to start having those conversations with your roommates and suite mates. Hey, don't touch my stuff, which is fine. We cater to that and we work with you on that and having those conversations with your suite mates and roommates. Micro fridge and mini fridge. So that is usually attached with the microwave. Those in McKeon can easily access that. If you have a a roommate and you both want it, this is usually the cost is split between both of y'all. Or if you end up in McMahon Hall and you end up in a really big suite, sometimes it could be as big as 9 people. We do cater and allow y'all to have micro fridges just because of the space. You have a normal size fridge, and for like even pushing 6 people, that could be a lot. So we do work with y'all to have micro fridges in your room so you can share with your roommate in regards to that. Things to leave at home. Things to leave at home. It's self-explanatory, but I still have to say it, right? We come from different walks of life, different experiences. Anything alcohol and drug related, leave it at home, please. you know, that's the act. You're gonna be presented with choices at Fordham because it's college and we encourage you to make the best decision as possible. But if you do not, we work with you, right? You're learning and you're growing and developing. And so we definitely work with you, but letting you know now, I'm letting you know, please leave that at home. Great. Candles, incense, hot plates. That's dangerous. Self-explanatory, I think. Like fire safety is a huge concern, which is candles, incense, hot plates, space heaters, string lights. I have a ton of string lights confiscated all the time. Mom over there is like, wow, can I get some? Please leave those at home. We do confiscate it. Our RAs and RFMs, they do semester checks, actually 2 room checks every semester, and where they have to kind of make sure that you're abiding by our policies and rules. And if you're not, then things get confiscated. You'll be notified. There's that. You don't get it back until the very end of the academic year. You can have your mom called. You still won't get it back until the end of the academic year. And I will let your mother know that too. So there's that. Pets, leave those at home as well. Fishes, turtles, rats, pet rats, hamsters, snakes, rabbits, dogs, leave all of them at home. You guys laugh, but I've like experienced chasing a rabbit. Like it's very awkward, not as a professional, but as when I, you know, because I told you I was a LC alum. Back in the day, I had to chase a rabbit with my RD because I was on staff and that was very awkward. So please leave that at home. Even during move-in, it's nice when you guys bring your pets so you guys can say goodbye. Unfortunately, if you do that, you can't bring in your pet and someone's gonna be sitting in the car with your pet and they won't be part of your move-in experience, unfortunately. So just make sure not to bring those. Tapestries, curtains, and flags. Tapestries and flags tend to be the biggest thing we see, along with string lights for safety reasons. Obviously, if something catches on fire, it kind of takes over the whole wall because they're so large, right? So you're allowed poster size things only. If we catch you with a flag that's very, very large, we will confiscate it and you won't get it back until the end of the academic year, right? Drones, again, you know, things happen on this campus. And so drones happened before me. I've been here 4 years ago, we had a kid with the drone because that's when it became popular. We didn't have any policies in place. That was our mistake, and now we do. And so the kid learned. It was a very high price. He damaged a window here in McKeon Hall, which is our nice, like extremely nice building. And it was like 1/4 of his tuition. Right. So there's that. Bed risers, moving on over, bed risers, leave them at home as well. We don't want you guys to get hurt during move-in. We have facility members on campus to help you lift your bed. And so all you have to do is put in a work order. It does take time, like about a week, because there's usually other priorities that are more pressing during that first week of move-in, but leave bed risers at home. Usually we had a parent get hurt and it was just ordeal, oh, for Jesus. So leave that at home. Furniture, outside furniture, futons, couches, even like large bookcases, leave those things at home. I already told you there's a high first year number of incoming class, so space is gonna be tight. We have enough for everyone, but space is going to be tight. So leave extra furniture at home. The small little bookcases are allowed though, so you can have those, right?
Yeah, like very small furniture,
Like
very small, like
very,
like put your
very,
very when you're sleeping or under your bed, like plastic storage containers under your bed. That's fine too, but like don't bring a big bookcase or.
And do you remember the U-Haul girl? She bought a large rug. She went back with that and her U-Haul. So don't bring large rugs. Small rugs are allowed. Great. Work with your roommate because that's a sharing space. You also have to think about vacuuming. If you bring any type of rug, make sure it's not a large one that overtakes the entire room. Okay, great. Switch over.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about perks of living on campus. So one of the biggest perks, I think, is that we do weekly educational and social programming. So in McKeon Hall, there is, I think, we all program in cycles. So we do like 6-week cycles, first 6 weeks, and then second 6 weeks of the semester. And every week in both buildings, there's an educational program, but then in addition to that, your RA and your RFM will do community builders. They'll do events specifically for your floor that are more social engagement, try and get you outside of your room, have conversations, connect you, get to know each other. In McMahon, we do very similar things. We do something called Sweet Dates, which is your RA will set up a time to come to your apartment and do a program with your suite individually within your space. Sometimes they'll take you off campus, go to Starbucks, go to the park, depending on what your interests are. If you have shared hobbies or things like that, they'll do that, but specifically with your apartment. We also do, in McMahon, we also do educational programs similar to McKeon. Every week there's a building-wide educational program. These are, they're meant to be social as well. They're meant to be fun. It's not just like come and listen to a lecture. We'll make brownies together, but instead of making brownies, we're also talking about an educational topic that's conducted to the creation of those of that baked good. And so it's kind of weird to try and explain, but it's essentially we'll do social programming, but there's educational components tied into that, so you can get something more out of that program. There's like a takeaway for you. From a safety perspective, we have 24-hour front desk security. We also have residential life staff on call, so on duty and on call. So for myself as a resident director, we have RDs on call 24 hours a day, every day of the year, even holidays, weekends, where there's always a professional staff member who's on call. So currently I'm on call, and so if I'm out on like a Saturday, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I could get a call. I come back to campus immediately, handle that situation. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up, go to your room, handle that situation. And so we're trained in crisis management, or we're trained in conflict resolution. So we're available to you as a resource. In addition to that, there's a student staff member, a resident assistant, who is on duty as well. And they're also on duty 24 hours a day, on weekends and on holidays as well. And so they will do similar work to what we do, but we'll step in when it's a more serious situation, when something escalates, if they need a little bit more help. And then there's also specific circumstances that they don't handle, but we do. And so we'll step in instead of them. We're here as a resource too, so it doesn't have to be a major crisis. You could just want somebody to talk to walk you through a situation, get some advice on friendship conflict or something related to your classes. So you could go to the RA on duty, talk to them during their office hours. You could come to my office during business hours and talk to me as your RD, and we can have a conversation. Whatever the issue is, we're here to support you. Goes without saying, but there's Wi-Fi throughout the building that you have access to, and I think it's on the plaza as well, and other common areas on campus where you can utilize the building Wi-Fi. We have controlled heating and cooling in all of the rooms. In McMahon, it looks a little bit different than McKeon. McKeon, you have a thermostat where you can temperature control your space. In McMahon, it's like a unit that's built into your wall under your window, so you'll control the temperature from there within your bedrooms as well as within your common space within your living room. There's a cable service, like basic cable service within the living rooms of McMahon apartments, and then also in McKeon, just within your suite. There's going to be one jack within the McKeon spaces, and then in McMahon, it's just in the living room. It's not in your individual bedrooms. We have free laundry, as Kelly was saying earlier, McKeon and McMahon both, and then the fitness center in McMahon. This is just some pictures. Some RAs took their residents to the Today Show. We're in New York City, so we have access to see tapings of television shows, see movies being filmed, things like that. And so your RAs will tap into these resources, and they'll take their floors to to, taping of a show, other things off campus as well. Something I forgot to mention is that we provide our staff with budget for programming. So a lot of these things that you attend, the social programming, the educational programming, the things off campus, most of the time you're not paying for that. It's included in what you pay to live on campus. And so the RA will fund that program utilizing their budget. Sometimes there'll be a case where the RA is going to take their floor for a community builder. So you're going to laser tag, and maybe laser tag is above their budget. And so they'll supplement with their budget a half of your ticket, then you'll pay the rest. But usually, like I would say, like 9 times out of 10, we're paying for that program for you, and you're attending that free of charge just because it's included as a perk of living on campus. RAs taking their residents for a picnic in Central Park. Going on excursions, I've had staff take their residents to Brooklyn, to this food market called Smorgasburg on weekends. They'll go to museums, they'll go to the observation decks, the different tourist attractions in the city, as well as some other places off campus. And then they'll do open mic nights and other programming on campus as well. So this is just an overview of what to expect in terms of staffing. In McKeon, you have resident assistants and resident first year mentors. In McMahon, at least currently, you're just going to have a resident assistant on your floor. Potentially that could change, but most likely you're just going to have an RA on your floor. That person though is still trained to take on the role of the resident first year mentor. And so you'll be able to have the same resources as you would if you were to have 2 staff members on your floor in McKeon. The RAs and RFMs do community development, that's the programming, other little things that they do to try and connect people, help you make friends, help you, they do conflict and mediation to help you resolve issues. So, if your roommate likes to stay awake till 4 o'clock in the morning, have the light on, and you like to go to bed at 12, they can sit with you and teach you how to have a conversation with your roommate so that you can resolve that issue on your own. And then if you're not able to resolve that issue, they're able to step in and do a mediated conversation between you and all of your suite mates to set ground rules and help you work through that situation so that you're able to then resolve conflicts and continue to live together. That's our main goal, is not just to move you when there's a conflict, but to help you resolve it so that you can stay within the same space. Social and educational events, again, they're on duty weekends, evenings and weekends, and then they also serve as a connection to campus resources. They have contacts in counseling and psychological services and campus ministry and Office of Multicultural Affairs and career services, and they can connect you to these people to help you supplement the support that they're providing you within their role. As a resident director, Kelly mentioned, I'm a master's level professional, study student affairs in my graduate program, and now I've been, again, working at Fordham going into my 6th year. We do student conduct, judicial hearings. So if you violate a policy, you'll meet with me for a conduct hearing, educational based, and then there's some sanctioning as a result of that as well. We serve a 24-hour on-call crisis response, and then we also serve as an additional resource in addition to your RA and your RFM if if we need to step in for something, as I had mentioned before. Finally, RHA, which I think there's another slide about them in the presentation as well. They serve as one of our 3 governing bodies on campus. We have the Commuting Student Association for commuter students, we have the United Student Government, and then we also have Residence Hall Association. They do student advocacy for different topics on campus. They plan social events that are campus-wide for all residential students. They do leadership development if you decide to run for a position, run for office within RHA, and then develop your leadership skills through participating in that position. They're a student liaison between our office and the student body, and they also plan some community service events, community-wide events, as well as the annual RHA auction. Do you want to, should I continue? Or? All right, cool.
So I'm aware that you guys have lunch next, so I'm going to speed through things because I'm mindful of time. So I always am looking to hire the best of the best. Most of you, I hope that you have a great experience as you transition onto campus. You have a great experience with RA and RFM. So if you ever want to give that back to our community, it's a job, and so we pay you well and things of that nature. If you're interested, you could always reach out to us at the end of October, early November, when our recruitment process starts. Am I good on time? Great, thanks. Another form to get involved within your first year is through RHA. Joe had mentioned earlier. It's an advocacy group. It's like a student body within our residential hall. So it's very important that we're constantly hearing from the voices of our students. And that is why RHA exists, not only specifically on advocacy, but just programmatic efforts and leadership efforts. Oh, Christopher Little is the advisor to RHA. He loves it. He's been doing it for a couple of years now. Definitely wanted me to mention that there's 2 positions of first year program coordinators. So if you're interested in that, feel free to look for me during move-in so I can get you connected to Christopher Little. We also have peer ministers on campus. This is through Erin Hoffman, the woman with the family and kids living on the 6th floor of McMahon. She oversees about 10 peer ministers currently, but she's always looking for others to join if you want to be able to have deeper conversations on secular, religious, or spiritual themes, anything of that nature. And so that is definitely an avenue our students, specifically those who are very in tune with church or youth groups back in high school. That's a great transition onto campus to continue to form that community. Money is awkward, but it happens. You guys must have received your bill already mid-June. It was an estimated amount of what housing costs. Currently, you don't know which building you'll be in. And so depending on what building you will be in, the meal plan will change and will be reflected on your Bursars account. If you have any issues and this does not align with what you've seen, remember this, your June account reflected an estimated amount. And so if you have any questions mid-August about things of that nature, or actually it won't be finalized until the first week of September. So if you continue to have issues or have further questions, feel free to email us at ResLifeLC so we can have more conversations about your account and the potentially loop in financial aid. Residence Hall is a smoke-free zone. So I don't know who's a smoker here, but you're gonna have to be able to engage in that outside of campus. Like, so actually it's within 10 feet of our building. 15? 50. Take a walk. A long walk. I'm over here thinking it's like 5. Okay. 50 feet of our building. So there is that. And housing is guaranteed. So if you are given housing incoming first year, you're guaranteed housing all 4 years. And that includes if you decide to go abroad or if you take a medical leave. If, let's say, junior year, you're like, I want to live my best life off campus, and that doesn't turn out the best, and you want to live back on campus, you may not be guaranteed housing just because we usually actually have a wait list to live on campus. Okay. Pictures of our team living their best life. That way you guys know we're not lying to you. People do have fun on campus in our residential hall. They're a great team. I just encourage you guys to take a chance and engage in the community. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. We'll try to get you connected to other means on campus. Questions? I know you guys have some. Oh, the chat. Ooh, virtual
questions from the chat. One, I think you said dorm assignments are coming out in August.
Yes, first week of August. Yes.
All right, and then one thing is about how much storage space is under the bed. Like, what's the max dimensions? If we know, I don't know if we know, but the beds go pretty high.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, Kelly.
No, go ahead.
Those dimensions are on our website, so we have a frequent ask questions page. And sorry. Hello. Okay, so the online on our website, there's a frequently asked questions page that has dimensions of like very specific things. It'll tell you like the dimensions on the wardrobe, the dimensions of the desk, how much space is there under the bed. So if you go on our website, at frequently asked questions page, you can see all of the dimensions of everything within the room.
Thank you. Didn't even know
And
that.
then there were two more. There's some electronic things people can't bring. The items and questions are Keurigs, electric blankets.
Great, great question. Keurigs, you're allowed, yes. We all need coffee. You see me with my coffee. Keurigs are allowed. Usually I see the singular ones in McKeon and McMahon. I tend to see the more
Yeah,
bigger ones because it's shared within the suite. Something, electric blankets,
Yeah,
that's pushing it. I don't even know.
maybe not. Sorry.
Honestly, because there's so many
Oh.
things always changing. I would
There's
be
more
honest.
popping up. Crock pots, blenders. Maybe there's a list online.
Sorry, so
Thanks. Take it on.
can you mute your mic? I apologize. That's
How do I
the
do that?
feed. No,
The here?
yeah, just like that. And then I don't know if you have yours on too, but it should be fine. All right, so on our website, if you go under residential life policy, you can read all of our policies, and there's a list of all prohibited items that you can bring. And if it's not on that list and you think it might be prohibited, just send us an email, reslifelc@fordham.edu. And one of the resident directors, either Chris, Nicole, or myself, will get in touch with you and we can answer your question. But there should be a list on under residential life policy of all of the prohibited items and what they what you can bring, what you can't bring. And then in terms of electronics, you should be able to see that there. Yeah.
All right. And then somebody asked about microwaves, but I know you can also get one through the school. Yeah.
Yes, so your micro fridge is attached to a microwave. So they're not separated, they come together, they're like attached. So if you rent one, you get also a microwave as well. That's a great question. Let me clarify. Yep. So in McKeon, that is usually the setup, right? But in McMahon Hall, you have your own kitchen. So you really need to work with your suite mates to bring your own microwave that is not attached to a microfridge, right? So there's that. If you purchase it yourself, then yes. Yeah, that's fine. But if you want to rent it, which is usually what the case is, then it comes together. Yep.
All right. Someone is also wondering if they created a group with another student to become roommates, how guaranteed is that?
95%. We do a
95%.
really good job. If you guys put your preferences, we try our best, but it's not guaranteed. So if you guys get that 5%, I'm letting you know now, there is a chance that that will not be the case. Okay. You have more?
If you have time for more, I'll give you like two more. Somebody wants to know, are room checks random or will they be notified before they happen?
Oh.
Got a big reaction.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a great question. They're always notified. And guess what? Sometimes they still fail. It's amazing. So it doesn't even matter letting students know. We definitely recognize that that is your own space. We don't want to be invasive. We always let you know the week it's happening. Some of my teams, RAs and RFMs, will schedule something with you in your room and things of that nature that works out. Other times they just notify you the week. And then, you know, things are in accordance for most of the time, but usually there's always confiscation to some degree because that happens. Is there any questions in the audience?
Please.
Do you guys have like an emergency notification system, like for lockdowns and fire drills, things like that?
We do, and that is through public safety. Are they meeting with public safety today? Do we know? Perfect, yes. So probably Bob Deneen, the director of LC Public Safety, could answer all your questions in regards to that. But yeah, for faculty, staff, students, we're all part of that. And they have to sign up. You have to sign up though. And we will be definitely on you in order for you to sign up so you can be part of the system. I saw a question around here. Yep.
How do you order the microwaves, like the refrigerators for your door?
You should have gotten an email about that. So if you look through your email, so when you get a chance at your Fordham email, look up Res Life LC and actually read throughout all the emails. Sometimes they're very lengthy, but that information is included. Yes. Any other questions? Yes. Yes. Gotcha. Huh. Yeah, so you can definitely have a bike on campus, but you have to keep it locked up in our biking section. So there's about four bike racks within the vicinity. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, there's one outside McKeon, there's one outside McMahon, and then there's a semi-covered one
By
on the
Lowenstein.
Lowenstein entrance under the stairs.
But you can't keep it in your room because that is considered like a furniture. Actually, wait, yes, and then I got you. Mhm. Oh. Yeah, so that's a great public safety question. No, actually, so I can help you give you a gist of the day. So we work very closely with facilities, public safety, and OSI, Office of Student Involvement, on move-in day. So public safety oversees the traffic flow. We see the people flow. So you'll see us directing students, okay, get on this line, get on that line, make sure like the elevators are moving very smoothly while public safety redirects traffic, parking and unloading. So it's a very much of a team effort. We actually have a meeting tomorrow to talk about the gist of move-in. And so it runs relatively smoothly. We also work with our our neighboring NYPD kind of like a center, and where they are notified, hey, like this is what we're doing, this is our game plan. Be kind to parents if they like leave their car alone, but we can't guarantee anything. So we always encourage when students are moving in that a parent stays with the car while it's being unloaded, they go park, and then they come back and continue to assist the student in moving in. Yep. And then we had a question over here.
So this is three questions related to the same thing.
Oh,
In McKeon and
McMahon.
in the triples and in their own little suites, how are the bathrooms disinfected before the students get in? And can they take the shower curtain down to their private bathrooms and put some impression for themselves?
Yeah, so we actually do an overhaul at every single room. Specifically, McKeon right now is actually empty. So like we normally have conferences like throughout the summer of different groups, A-League groups, like, and New York Times, and we have them in and out. It has been empty all summer. So the disinfecting is our normal process. Facility does a really good job and are certified with their disinfectant protocol. I'd like to say every single shared bathroom has a brand new curtain. It's a gray curtain. It's not exciting. So if you want to add some pizzazz, you work with your suite mates or roommates to kind of create like your own style and your own vibe to your bathroom. But the cleaning aspect is well taken care of. If usually, rarely do we have any issues, but if there's an issue, you communicate that to us and facilities on campus, and they are very quick with the turnaround. But
Last question. Assuming these buildings are open.
no. Yeah, so McMahon was built in 92, and McKeon was built 5 years ago.
First year was 2014, 2015.
I was actually a student in the student committee of designing the building. It was cute. Yeah. Yeah. So we're very good with keeping up to date, especially with COVID. We realized we wanted to like keep our ventilation system up to date as much as possible, and that it will be continuing just because, I mean, the year we've had to learn how to pivot, and we've taken certain precaution that we learned last year because we did have students on campus, and we're just gonna improve those efforts this year as we have everyone on campus in person. So yeah, no problem, but I got you. Yes.
Is there a way to like ship my stuff
Mhm.
here? 'Cause I'm from Florida, so
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. Yeah, so when you get your rooming assignment along with your suite mate information and what to bring, what not to bring, all that good jazz, we'll share the address of where you can ship your items. The mailroom gets really crazy during move-in, so it's okay. They have their own system. You'll get notified of when you have a package, and that package will be your own items that you've mailed yourself over. So during move-in, right, you'll probably want to divide and conquer. You want to have like maybe mom wait online for you to go up and check in McKeon, excuse me, or McKeon, actually McMahon doesn't, I don't know where you're gonna end up, right? But, and then you'll have someone, because it has to be you to pick up your own packages. And so kind of divide and conquer. It's a process, but yeah. Yes. No. I don't even have parking. I don't even have a car because I live in the city. Student parking exists, but only at Rose Hill. So we have had students have a car on campus, but their parking aspect is at Rose Hill. We have a Ram van and where you can go back and forth, but at that point, is it even worth it? It's also very expensive. So there's a price to that amenity, similar to kind of like professional staff and administrators. So we do have parking, but not specifically for LC, but for LC, you can take advantage of the Rose Hill parking. What's up? Yes, that same address. Yes. So no matter McMahon or McKeon, you both have the same address. It's going to go to a McMahon Hall Center because that is where a package room is located. So if you live in McKeon, you still have to put McMahon Hall because that's, well, actually, no. No, actually, I'm right. I'm right. You have to put 155 West 60th, which is our McMahon Hall building, though you live in McKeon, but you put McKeon Hall in your room number underneath it. So people in the package room know that it belongs to a student in McKeon. Yes. Zoom?
Yeah. Should people have gotten an email confirmation that their housing application went through?
So I oversee the educational component of residential life. Tell them to email Res Life LC at Fordham because I actually don't think you should have gotten a confirmation. We get a
I feel like
confirmation.
probably not.
Yeah, we get a confirmation on our end. My counterpart, Vicky Massey, who oversees housing operations, she's the mastermind of all that, but there is no confirmation. But if you want to confirm if it's been received, we can do that for you. You just have to reach out to us.
And then I'm assuming this isn't decided yet, but how many family members can people bring to assist them?
Great question. 2. Okay, 2. You can bring 3, but only 2 can go up with you. And then you guys got to rotate. It's happened. People make it work. So there's that. Any other questions? Yes. Yes, that's equivalent to like coffee. Yeah. Yes. That's a great question. I appreciate. What's your name? Joe. Joe. Oh, Joe. Love. So this is a complicated question because we didn't have any guests last semester. We couldn't. It was too dangerous. We just didn't know how to like maneuver that. So no one was allowed to have guests. If you lived in McMahon, you couldn't even visit someone in McKeon. If you lived in McKeon, you could not visit someone in McMahon. We were very strict for a reason, right? To make sure we can monitor the spread if it hit that, right? So we had isolation and quarantine in both like different residential halls, but we try to keep y'all very separated. Things are changing. Obviously, we're here without masks. So we're trying to figure out what does our guest policy look like moving forward. Everyone here needs to be vaccinated unless there's a medical approval or religious approval, right? I'm for certain, more than likely, if we have guests, that will be the same protocol, but we don't have a system to keep track of that. And so we're still working out the kinks, but I can't, as of today, I can't say we will have guests on campus in the fall because I don't know what that looks like. But it's one of our bigger topics we're talking about it. Yes.
Moving day, will there be
Carts?
Carts or dollies for?
Yes, so there's not dollies. So if you guys want to bring your own dollies, cool, great. They're usually the small ones, but there's definitely carts, large carts to fit enough like 2, 3 luggages. So that's the size. And we usually always provide 1 per family. So if you have, let's say, luggages, you want to roll those, and then whatever can't be rolled, you want to put in your cart that's given to you. Yeah, but it's relatively a smooth process. So don't worry. Like it sounds like not enough, but it's pretty good. Questions. Yes.
Do double occupancy rooms ever become triple occupancy?
No, that's a great question. Yes. Well, let me clarify. So in McMahon, currently we do, but it's because we can afford the space. Our doubles are really large in our 6-person apartments. So we do convert them into triple because we've actually gone in and taken in square footage and made sure we can fit 3 beds, 3 of everything. In McKeon, they're not forced because they're already in existence. So triples exist because the square footage, that's how the building was built. So our triples will be triples no matter what, but our doubles in McKeon won't ever be triples because there's not enough space. Yeah, and for quads, I do not know quads, but currently we haven't been in conversations with quads, so, which is nice. Any other questions? Yeah. Ram van? That's a great question. It's been a year, so, yeah, no, it does not. So during the class day, obviously it runs, but I think their cutoff is 1 AM, if I'm not, 1 AM?
On the, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but on the weekends, I think it's a little later than 1 AM.
4
but
AM maybe?
I think it's like
Yeah.
4, something like that. I'm not 100% sure though.
But if you can go on the website, so again, we all have our own different departments, transportation, Ram Van, they have the schedule. So we definitely encourage students to go visit Rose Hill. Rose Hill students come to Lincoln Center, so we provide those means. If you have a class, you will get a ticket page book for you to go back and forth free of charge. If you're going up there just to enjoy and have a good time and meet new people, that will be out of your own pocket. So just recognize for some things we do sponsor if they're academic related. Yeah. Other questions?
I just have one about the Ram Van. That's just going back and forth to.
Yeah.
Is there any other like Fordham sponsored?
Transportation.
Like via an app or anything else?
No, yeah. Ram Van is only to and from Rose Hill. Yep. Mhm.
So no other.
No other, yep. Lyft it, Uber it, whatever floats your boat, yeah. Walk, sure. Take a long walk, 50 feet walk. Any other questions? Y'all been great. Anyone online?
Well, I know it's lunchtime, so
Great.
I might.
Awesome,
stop.
great, awesome. Thank you so much. I'll see you during lunch.
Thanks,
Feel free to
everyone.
ask me any questions. Stop. Pay attention to Hannah. Yeah, you're welcome. I got you.
So our OLs will lead you guys to lunch on the plaza. And for our virtual people, if you are an FCLC student, please rejoin the main Zoom link at 2 o'clock. If you are a Gabelli student, please join the Gabelli link at 2 o'clock. And thank you, everyone. Enjoy your lunch.